Welcome guys. Today we're gonna talk about building a mech, and this time we're gonna go into the long range mech engineering part. So for this the scapegoat for this episode is going to be the rifleman. It's a long range mech. Please do not brawl with this thing. So let's take a look at the rifleman. First of all, high mounts means sniping and peeking. So this mech already configures as a sniper profile. Okay, this is your cockpit. Okay, let's get this thing out of the way. Let's assume this doesn't exist. The antenna over his head. His arm mounts are extremely high. As soon as you see the enemy, you can shoot him. You're not gonna eat rocks or anything. Let's take a look at the enhancements of this mech. This mech has ballistic cooldown, ballistic velocity, range and AC5 cooldown. We've got 2 ballistic and 6 energy. So how are we going to build this mech to properly function as a long range sniper and harasser? So let's remove the potato build first of all. Second, this mech focuses on AC5. You can use anything else, honestly. You can go with LBX5 if you so desire. It's just a 5% difference. You can go with like... no, let's not go with that. So let's build a mech. We need 1 AC5 and 1 AC5 over here. We got 2 AC5. We shoot every 1.3 seconds, which is good. Now, this weapon system shoots at an optimal range of 620. So what you wanna do is ideally find a weapon that can shoot to a similar range. I'm watching these large lasers. You can get 450 meters range, optimal range. The ER medium laser is 360, and we've got a PPC. PPC is a 540. We said we have the 620. That's a bit of an issue, to be honest. I also don't think this mech can mount PPC. You can mount them in the arm. I will not mount PPCs in the arm, by the way. Engines. By the way, this is not the build, the final build. I'm just trying something out. The engine. For a long range mech, you want to use a light fusion engine, or even better, an XL engine. I will go honestly with something like an XL engine 240, 64, look at that, 64.8. Great speed for heavy mech. It's average, you're not extremely fast, you're not extremely slow, but it gets the job done. You don't need to go places, okay? You don't need to run around the battlefield with a heavy mech. Now, we need one extra double heat sink because we need 10 double heat sinks to start the mech. Okay, or the startup sequence won't fire. So we've got some space. We go with endosteel and we start pumping out some ammo. Okay, so 5 tons of ammo are okay. So we got 35. 35 multiplied by 5 is 175 damage. We take this 175 damage and we multiply by 5. That's 700, like 800 damage. Okay, let's call it 800 damage. We got 800 damage just from the AC5, so that's more than enough. And we got 30 damage. We can also shoot those weapons at the same range ish. If you're not sure, you can go with ERPPCs, and the rest goes into double heat sink. And yeah, well, let's just... oh, we have to add the... I always forget about the armor. They should really implement a max armor button. Can I get max armor? Please. Okay, let's scrap this PPC build. I wasn't going with it anyway, but it was just to show you how to build optimal ranges Now you still need maximum armor even if it's a sniper. There's no way around that. Okay, so yes. Legs, usually nobody cares about your legs. So you can skip leg days. The rifleman isn't known for being shot in the leg. Okay. So what can we do with this mech? Now, my personal take is that my AC5s will be my main source of damage. I do not have the tonnage to mount many weapons outside the AC5, so you have two choices here. You can go with large lasers and add a couple more heat sinks. Okay, it's a possibility. You deal 28 damage from range. This is, by the way, this is entirely possible. You can go with ER lasers if you want, even though I believe it's going to be a little bit hot. You can do that, okay? This is fine. This is one possible build. Again, this is not the best build for the mech, but it's possible. You're certainly going to perform with this mech, definitely. Or we've got 6 energy. What did I just do? Oh, I removed the AC5. God damn it. Or we can take 6 ER medium lasers, which incidentally is going to be the maximum you can shoot at the same time. Why? Because ghost hit. So we got 30 damage that we can deliver at 360 meters range. It's not great. It doesn't synergize with the AC5, but early game you will be using your AC5 to shoot from long range, like 700 meters. Once you've softened up the enemy, you can move to mid-range and start pumping out the medium lasers. Now, being this a very hot build, we got some issues over here, so we can either go with that or we can take something else. We can improve our engine, for instance. We can go, or you know what, we can simply make you spare the money and go with a standard so you get the same effect. You can go endosteel and you can go with an Excel engine 200 and something. Okay, that's great. That's all cool and dandy. You got a 1.35 heat management. It's fine for an inner sphere mech. Let's enter the testing round and test this mech out. Now this is my build for the rifleman, but you can work on the 2AC5 2 large laser build. Now AC10 will synergize better with the large lasers because they have the same optimal range.
Target acquired.
So you can shoot them at the same distance. Anyway, the secret is, now I'm gonna hold down the button. See? I'm gonna add in the damage from the medium lasers.
Level critical.
It's gonna take a while and you're gonna run very hot with this build. Granted, this is not skilled, I believe. So there you go. By the way, if you're shooting a mech on a broken component, there's a lot of damage reduction. So try to not shoot mechs where they have broken components, even though the damage transfer, it doesn't deal a lot of damage. So we are cool again. Shoot the mediums,
critical.
finish off the mech
Target destroyed.
with the AC5s. So as I said
New target
before,
acquired.
long range mechs have heat issues, but it's not much of a problem because you'll be shooting from long range. You'll probably be doing something like this. You're gonna like peek from a distance, so you're gonna dissipate the heat while you're not shooting. Okay, so you're gonna do something like this. Okay, geometry, I know is gonna fuck me up. Yep. You shoot,
Target destroyed.
you get back into cover, you wait a couple of seconds, you pick again, and you shoot. So you can dissipate heat quite easily. Now, the other build you can do, and this literally opens up the discussion of whether you should be doing ER medium lasers or large lasers. That's up to you. I prefer medium lasers because that's 30 damage. You can take large lasers, it's okay, it's fine. We clearly need to get some other engine, like, I don't know, 245 was it? Yes, nope, 240. Yeah. So we mount the laser on the arms. What's missing? 1 ton. There you go. Large laser. There you go. Well, 145. If you want to be even more accurate, you're gonna take ER large lasers. Okay, 3.4, 1.1, same as, almost the same as the large lasers. It's just slightly, just 0.3 seconds of cooldown more, but the range is similar, so it can synergize. We go to the testing ground, tourmaline desert, yes. I'm gonna test it out, see? I'm gonna see, is it better with medium lasers or is it better with ER large lasers? Now granted, the cycle time is different.
Target acquired.
But the difference is that we can shoot at any range. So we can really start shooting here. Oops, I shot both the city and the life torso. So we definitely have more staying power.
Critical.
But as you can see, we're still going to shut down after a while. But we took down the side torso. And there is some explosion. So,
Heat level critical.
the fact that we're dealing less damage than 6 medium lasers, it's not going to be a hindrance because we are going to shoot.
Heat level critical.
We're going to shoot from afar. So we will be starting to pump out the damage earlier in the game compared to the medium lasers.
Target acquired.
So we can also,
Target destroyed.
we
Heat
are
level
also
critical.
shielded from weapon systems that do not reach far away.
Target acquired. New target
So
acquired.
what you do with this mech in this configuration is you
Heat level critical.
start sniping and harassing enemies from a distance. And you're gonna shoot the enemy like that. So it's going to be hot with the ER large laser. You can drop down to large lasers, it's gonna be less heat intensive. Okay,
Heat level critical.
not a big deal, but that's ideally what you want to do. Now, if you start pumping out some weird builds like LBXs, AC20s, yeah, once in 100 matches you're gonna do great, but that's not the way to be the long range mech. We can take another type of, this is a ballistic one, of course. Ghost rifle is basically the same. Usually there used to be, let's take something that can actually do it. I don't know, a ghost rifle with PPCs is usually what people aim for back in the day. Let's take a random mech. Can you do ghost rifle? Yeah, sure, whatever. No, you only have one. So let's take something like this one. Okay. This is just an example, please don't do that. This mech possibly doesn't even have the tonnage to do it. Right? Yeah, right. So usually you go with ghost rifles and PPCs. Okay? Usually it's 2 PPCs and 1 ghost rifle that got nerfed to the ground, so you can only shoot 1 PPC, 1 ghost rifle. They share ghost hit basically. So one trick is to shoot your PPCs first and then shoot the ghost rifle later if you have more than 1 PPC. That allows you to avoid ghost hit. The other way to beat the long range mech is to take something like the catapult or the mad dog. Okay, let's not take 6 missiles. 4 energy to ballistic, 2 energy for a missile. Now you either want to get something like this one, the C1, or the C4. Let's take the Let's take the C1 because I have it. Why not? Let's beat in the mech lab. Okay, first of all, remove the potato build, max out the armor so you get a feeling of how much tonnage you have to play with. There you go, max my armor, thank you very much. Max armor over there, max armor over there, max armor over there. Anything else? No. Okay, we're fine. Let's remove 6 points, which allows us to be at 19.5, otherwise we will be at 19.7. We want endosteel, of course. And man, I'm always clicking owned items. Okay. What we want to do is put 2 LRMs in this baby. It's a long range, so we put, since we have limited amount of ballistic, missile hardpoints, we're gonna go with the bigger guns. So there are 2 ways you can build a long range mech: MRMs or LRMs. LRMs are extreme long range and you need a lock-on system. The MRMs are more like mid to long range, 550. You bring it up to like 600 meters. That's a long range to me, considering the usual scenario. So you can either go with 2 MRM 30s, I think. You can go with an engine. Let's start with a standard engine, like, was it a 300? I think it can go a 60. Yeah, 260, 64.8 kph. You now need to put some ammo, so 300 ammo, 600, and we can shoot 10 times before running out of ammo, so let's add 2 more tons of ammo. That's 20 times. We need a backup weapon. Not with the MRMs, obviously, but if we had LRMs, we needed a backup weapon. So what could it be? Medium lasers are great backup weapons. That's literally 20 damage that you can deliver to the enemy. Double heat sinks, thank you very much. Now, like I said, we are a long range mech, so we can go with an XL engine. So make this an XL. See? We have a lot of tonnage to play with now. So we can go with double heat sinks now. And we have a lot more to play with. So can we drop down to a light fusion engine? The answer is yes, we can. So we have 3 slots left and no tonnage. I'm sure we can work this out, but do I want to? Do you want to? Okay, we have 80 firepower. We got the backup weapons, that's 20 damage, and 60 damage from the medium range missiles. Another way you can do is more common is using long range missiles. Usually you can go with Artemis or not. The bigger the missile system, the more you need Artemis. So up until LRM 10 you don't need Artemis, above LRM 10 you need Artemis. So let's put 2 LRM 20. Some ammo, thank you very much. I don't need all this dissipation, honestly. Now 4 tons of LRM ammo is really, it's more than enough to cover an entire match, unless you are one of those potatoes that shoot LRMs downrange from 1 kilometers away on the other side of the map. So if you stick with your team, you should lob LRMs at around 300 meters range, 500 at best, but try to be with your team. So how do you play long range with these LRMs since you have to be with your team? Well, there are ways. There are light mechs, there is scouting. Usually you need to be more versatile, and it's indirect fire weapon support. So it's a long range, yes, but be careful that you need visual contact and you cannot build up the damage from the early game because you need to keep a lock on the enemy. So this is more like a mid-game weapon. where the snipers are done sniping and there is some visual contact, things are starting to heat up. So this is one way. Remember, doesn't matter how many LRM tubes you have, if you do not have any backup weapon, you are dead meat. Okay, someone is gonna notice you, someone is gonna call on chat, hey, this guy is an LRM bot, doesn't have backup weapons, go in, you are now suddenly unable to return fire. Because LRMs have a minimum range of 180 meters, below that they're basically utterly useless. Okay, ATMs is 120 I believe, so keep that in mind. Let's go to the last type of build you see, which is usually, let's take something like the, I don't know, I'm taking a random mech at this point, the Hellbringer. Now the Hellbringer is a good example. There are many ways you can build a Hellbringer, very versatile mech. Let's remove the ECM because we don't care about ECM. Okay. Let's max out the armor so we don't make mistakes. Okay. Okay. 6 armor from the head, bye bye. Okay, now another long range build is the energy laser vomit, or you can go with PPCs. I find PPCs to be extremely ineffective. The only PPC I tolerate is the snub nose PPC, and so you need to take long range weaponry. Now this is clan, you do the same with the Indosphere version. I'm sure you'll find some synergies with the weapons. So what I usually do for a long range vomit is basically a slang term from Mechwarrior Online to call someone with a lot of lasers that are going to be vomited like bleh on your face. So the usual build is a couple of ER, don't look at the weapon don't look at the hardpoints location, this is just random. You can do it with 2 heavy large lasers and everything else goes into medium lasers. Why am I doing something like that? Well, because the optimal range for a medium lasers, the clan version is 400 meters, the heavy large lasers is 450 meters, so they're somewhat close by, in the same range bracket. If I were to use the ER large lasers, I will be shooting at 740 meters. Now I can do more damage with the heavy large lasers and it synergizes my medium lasers. Okay, so I can alpha strike everything at around the same distance. Whether with the large lasers, I would have to shoot the lasers, to keep in mind that my large lasers, I can shoot them from 740 meters, while the medium lasers wouldn't be as much effective from that distance. So this is weapon synergy coming together. Now, can I actually remove the right torso and put something else? Yes, I can do this. Oh look, I have one right torso. How convenient. You can add 2 more medium lasers, and by the way, you can do another medium laser in the head. And now you got 6 ER medium lasers and 2 heavy large lasers. That's 71 damage. So once you shoot your alpha strike with this thing, you are going to basically be sitting at around 80% hit. But as again, since we are not playing a brawler, we are playing a long range mech, it's going to be irrelevant since we will be basically fighting from a distance. Again, legs are not a prime target for heavy mechs. Nobody shoot heavy mechs in the legs, because there's no need to shoot a heavy mech in the legs because you can easily shoot the city and kill him anyway. So with laser vomit builds, usually if you're going for long range, your hit management is gonna suck because you wanna pump out as much, you won't be shooting as much as you want to, as you could. You need to take some discipline to hold on the trigger. Let's test the mech. That's 71 damage. Now you can lower that amount with skill trees, skill nodes. Heat generation operation is great on this mech. Operation is awesome on this mech, on vomit builds, because the amount of heat sinks you have is so huge that the operation bonus is crucial. Let's see if we can actually not overheat ourselves. So we shoot.
Heat level critical.
And we actually have too many medium lasers. So how can we... Yeah, but it's basically gone. Let's shoot the heavy large lasers first. Wait, what? What are you doing there? And then the medium lasers. So if I do that, if I alternate my
Target destroyed.
And thank you for exploding. You ruined my demonstration. If we alpha strike, we overheat. We don't want that. We want to be able to go back into cover and wait for the dissipation. By the way, I'm cold again. So what we do is shoot the large lasers first, then shoot the medium lasers.
Heat level critical.
We did not shut down, barely. We keep in mind that this is not skilled, so your mileage may vary. We wait for that to come back into a decent amount, and we are ready to fire again. So far we shot 3 times, I believe. Yeah. So far we would have done like 210 damage for 3 alpha strikes, basically. So you can see that you don't shoot that often, but you deal a lot of damage. So medium lasers, large lasers.
Destroyed. Heat level
Target is
critical.
done. You need to give some time for your mech to cool down. Now, if you want to be even more, look at the dissipation. I can shoot again now. That's another 770 damage. So now we are sitting at 280 damage. I can shoot again. It's easy to rack up some damage, but as any long range build, you suffer from being intercepted by skirmishers and harassers. So you cannot brawl with this build. Okay, you can't. There may be flamers, and you don't have the fire rate or the heat capacity to sustain a brawling scenario. So keep that in mind. Now, what you can do to improve this build is now that you have a basic mold of the build. This is very important, guys. This is not perfect science. Once you have a basic mold of the build, you can play around that to optimize the build to your liking. Now, you may want to, you may like to deal this much damage, okay? But some people may not like being unable to shoot that fast. So what can you do? You can remove one medium laser, and you can go with more double heat sink. So you're basically trading firepower with double heat sink. Okay, now we deal 64.5 damage. We enter the testing ground again. Okay, and we can easily alpha strike now without overheating. Okay, that's very simple. Hopefully. There you go.
Target acquired.
There you go. Bada boom.
Heat level critical.
See? We do not overheat, we alpha strike. We go back to cover. We have more heat dissipation. Keep in mind we have no operation, and we are able to shoot again. Pick again.
Heat level critical.
And the Atlas is basically already open. That's very, very damaging, but you need to know how to use these mechs. A build only takes you so far. There you go. It's done. Weapon explosion is dead. Now, usually you don't see weapon explosion from a right torso because nobody puts weapon in there, ammo in the side torso, unless they're potatoes or unaware players.
Target acquired.
Look at that, the Jenner, 460 meters. Now medium lasers are not gonna make it that much.
Heat level critical.
Dead. One shot. And this is what there is to say. If you want to shoot even further from that, there is another build that you can do, but the concept really is the same. You try to synergize damage with different weapon systems. Now one thing you can do with this is you remove all the mediums, all the heavy large lasers. You got PPCs. You can go 3 PPCs and double blitzings. Thank you, I wanted the PPC, thank you very much. There you go. You have 30 damage, you're gonna shoot a little bit more. And by the way, PPCs have pinpoint damage, meaning that you don't have to... the damage is going all where it belongs. This is another type of build. The concept is still the same. Now, this mech is not great for long range sniping, unless you play with only 5 energy weapons over here. So, take something else, I don't know, honestly. Like a vomiter. What can we take? Rebecca, Marauder, Niger, Nova Cat, Orion, or the Rifleman you see, definitely another long range build. What is that? Okay, it's this one. Right? Yeah. You can see a typical build for this mech to be this one, basically. Okay, we can remove the useless stuff, like jump jets, and the clan active probe. We can substitute that with double blitzings. Man, a standard engine. Wow. You can go with 4 large pulse lasers, or you can go with large lasers. You got 6 weapon slots. Another thing that you need to keep in mind is to synergize with your energy R points. Wait, we have 7. Well, 7 is kind of useless. This is basically useless. But what you can do is basically go with, like I said, 6 mediums, 2 heavy large lasers. Or you can both large lasers and go crazy about it. 4 large lasers, you got 43 damage, you go with a better engine, because this one honestly sucks. Now you want to be a little bit mobile with this mech, with snipers, because you need to be able to relocate. Well, this is not a prime example of being fast, but you get the point. You want to be able to relocate, so do not drop down the engine below 64 with a heavy, 54 with an assault, and 81 for medium mechs. Light mechs should be as fast as possible, unless light mechs are fast support. That's another episode on its own. This episode has gone on for long enough. Whatever, it's too long. Okay, short attention span is today 2020 common trait. So this is how you make long range builds. Thank you for sticking through. If you have questions, please leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think, what not. Again, thanks for watching and take care.